This is a special edition of the Dork Table, and I got Walter from the Solvinur Report to come on tonight. And well, it's my night, your morning, and we're gonna do a little chit-chatting today about the addiction to authority and the shared illusion here on the Dork Table. And I guess at the end we'll say hi to everybody that's on the list. I don't do that. Mary does that. So I'm just going to introduce Walter with that topic and see where he wants to go with it this morning, afternoon, evening.
Hi there, Vince. How you doing?
Vincenzo!
I mean Flesh. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I thought maybe Vince came in on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me, I'm good. I just thought, I wanted to have another one of my weird programs. And when I do these, I do like to have a more serious topic than on Saturdays when we're blowing off steam and having a giggle. And
okay.
You came to mind because I've listened to you reading, and I like your opinions on the world outside. And then what we were talking about with Grimner, if you want to start out with any of that and just take us somewhere, we'll see where it goes.
Well, let's start out with the chatters. There's Asmo, Barman, Beth, Grimner, Moose Girl, Quell, Burnt Soup, Chalcedony, Chloe,
Grants,
Abidon C, Japa, E. Bunyan, Robwerks, Trust No One, and more.
Oh, there's a few names on there. Huh?
So, let's see. Got a bet here. And welcome, everybody. Let's see, how do I get this away again? There. Yeah, now I'm back in the chat.
Uh-oh.
Welcome, everybody. It's what is it today?
It's
Friday,
the
17th of February, 2017.
For most of us.
Table. So you normally do Dork Table on Saturdays?
Yeah, Saturday, 6 o'clock our time.
Oh,
in the evening. Yeah.
Stop by and check it out.
Well, you're welcome to if you even want to call in and give us that perspective from across the water. That they're all down here, because it's different.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think that no matter where you go, that basically we're all the same. It's just a matter of what crap you got stuffed down your throat at what age and how much of it you managed to get rid of.
Yeah, it's the cultural indoctrination you get, right?
Yeah, hey, Mary. Yeah, well, I got mine, but I ditched it. I wasn't a willing recipient in that education and, oh, you're only 13, you don't know anything kind of crap. I said, fuck you, I'll do what I want. I'm out of control.
Huh.
And I just did things.
Yeah.
But it was always against the grain of whatever the parents or the system was requiring.
Yeah. Well, the whole cultural indoctrination I got, I found not so nice. I started resisting it at a very young age. And I started asking questions at a very young age. And it kind of makes you, it sets you apart from other people and kind of makes you lonely.
Well, I didn't mind that. I kind of enjoyed the being away from them. I didn't see it so much as lonely as, wow, I'm away from that crap.
Huh. Yeah.
Because I could always amuse myself, drawings or reading or going somewhere, doing something. I wasn't an idle kid. Now I'm an old idle guy, but I started out pretty active.
Yeah. But the idea of authority creeps in there also, right? Like at school. Yeah,
I started to probably really be aware of it about 12.
Oh, okay.
Where I went, hey,
earlier.
I was about 12 when it really clicked that, these people have to be stopped or they're going to hurt me.
Yeah.
And then as it progressed, my behavior was socially unacceptable to them, because I would think for myself and ask questions. And they would tell me to shut up and sit down. That was how they dealt with me. So
okay.
I eventually gave up on them, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so much school you need anyhow. I mean, what does it take? How many years does it take to learn how to read?
Not so long.
Right. So why waste all those years? In 12 years, they want you to go to school to learn what? I never did really understand what their goal was at the age. Now I'm older. Hindsight, I can see it more clearly. They're trying to make me a good functioning member of society.
Yeah, I had that same thing. Not understanding of why we had to sit there like 8 hours a day. It felt like a prison, right?
It was a prison.
Yeah.
Exactly what. If you look up a definition of a school on YouTube, they'll tell you it is a prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got a link I always send people that praise the education system in the States. And there was a woman.
It's based on the Prussian education system.
Well, I'm not. You're the origin guy here. You know,
well, no, not really, not me. I got this from Jan Irvin and the people from Tragedy and Hope. And apparently the Germans lost a war. The Prussians, the Germans, they lost a war. And they figured out that it had to do with people thinking for themselves and not following orders. And so they thought out that a school system which would make children obey orders, in other words, the whole authority thing comes back here also, would make their army stronger, right? So that's the reason why this other schooling system was introduced. And that began around 1900 in the United States, and a little bit earlier in Europe.
Well, that sounds about what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah. And so since then, we are not being educated. That's a Latin word, means to draw out, but we are being indoctrinated, rather.
Right, I agree with that, and I don't see a lot of support in that particular point of view. Let's say that. I think you're like one of maybe 10 people that I've spoken to on here that agrees with that logic, because it's all that goal orientation. You got to do this to do that, and I was the shortcut king. I never saw why. Here, I'll give you a really bad example, but it's a dirty joke. There's two bulls standing up on the top of a hill. Grandpa Bull and his brand new boy, his grandson. And grandson says, Grandpa, let's run down the hill and fuck us a cow. And Grandpa looks down and shakes his head and says, no, boy, let's walk down and fuck them all. And, well, right, and it's this big hurry and race and compete and gain and qualify and be certified and yuck. I don't know, what the fuck is that really when you think about it? What is it all about? Who are you so special to besides yourself? Did I go too far with you on that one?
No, that's okay.
You got a good hand. I like those good hands. But anyway.
Yeah, so the idea of authority, the word itself links in etymologically, that's the word, to the word author, as in a writer, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a link there also with politics, of course, because they write things down. They are the author of some legislation, right? And suddenly it's an authority, right? So So it's a very ambiguous word, you know. There are ways in which it can correctly be used. Like, for instance, Grimner is an authority on technical stuff when it comes to making broadcasts, right? That's a good word, a good use of the word authority, you see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or a doctor is a authority when it comes to you having a broken leg, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
The authority, there's no wrong there, so to speak. And also, it's a difficult topic to approach because in the title you mentioned the word illusion, right? That authority is an illusion.
I believe so, yeah.
And I've heard people say that in nature there is no such thing as authority, right?
Yes, yeah.
But if you look at a troop of monkeys, for instance, most of them have an alpha leader. You know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the authority, right?
Right, but it's not. It's a natural authority. It's a
totally different kind of authority. That's,
it's not bullied out of you at threat.
Yeah, we probably don't have words for it.
Right, yeah, exactly, because we
need to tear apart this word authority a little bit to, be able to get a better grasp. And what does it say? Suck Puppet in the chat. You want to read that, or shall I?
No, you go right ahead, Walter.
It says authority, noun, from 1200. Autorite?
Autorite. You know, like autocrat, automobile, autorite.
Authoritative passage or statement, book or quotation that settles an argument, passage from scripture. Right, so in India, for instance, the Vedas are, with capital letter A-R-E, the authority. It's the scriptures that are the authority, right? And
that's how we're all beaten at the end. Some kind of written authority gets us.
Comes from Old French, autorité, authority, prestige, right, permission, dignity. What else does it say? Gravity, the scriptures. Check. He says check. Hold on, I got a bet here.
Go right ahead.
Scriptures, 12th century modern French, from Latin, auctoritatem. It's invention, advice, opinion, influence, command. Wow, see, so there's 5 different words here for authority.
Yeah. Well, how does authority work in your normal day? You know, when you go to work and whatnot. I mean, I don't have a conscious awareness of authority when I'm out in the world.
Yeah, that I know of. Yeah, we're not finished with what we were discussing, as in.
And you want to get to the word?
In the troop of monkeys, there's an alpha leader, right? So that's also a kind of authority, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are Darwinian or not, but supposedly we come from monkeys. I don't know if that's true or not, right? I'm not saying it is. But
no, not that it is or it ain't. Just it's funny.
Yeah, but if it is, then we humans would also have a tendency to have an authority, and most people, as you probably know, are followers.
Right.
Right? So they need a leader, right?
You be the leader then.
You get it? They vote for people and stuff like that. And I don't know what it is that drives these people to go to this box and make a mark behind some name, but they do. They I don't know why, but they do want that, right?
Well, they want
somebody else to take care of their problems.
Yeah.
You see, it's a lack of in Dutch we say zelfstandigheid. How do you say that in English?
Self-esteem.
No, not self-esteem.
Self-responsibility.
That too, but that you're also able to stand on your own 2 feet and make decisions and take responsibility for your decisions, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, authority, you might call it an illusion, which I agree with, right? It's illusionary to think that somebody else can be an authority over you. That just doesn't make any sense, right?
You would allow it, wouldn't you? As a human, whatever we are. As a man, you allow somebody to do something, or you don't. What other 2 ways is there? I mean, that's it.
Well, yeah, I guess allowing it.
You go along with it or you resist it. There's not too many choices to this equation.
Well, you could ignore it also.
No, you can't. I can't. I've tried. Outside of living on top of a mountain eating berries, I don't know how to get away from it, get it out of my life. It's always there. I mean, when I go to the grocery to get our necessary food supplies, I stand in a line and just like everybody else and follow the protocols just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But I'm not in any particular hurry to be served first or hurry up and I'm so special to me. None of that. But that's my way of recognizing the authority that I do live under. Decent to people in public. I don't tell them what I'm truly thinking.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Well, yeah, because I probably get hurt, because people don't want to hear the things that I think, most of them. But then again, there's a few that do. Like Mary.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of amusing because in real life, I think that this whole group of the RLM has a very small circle, an inner circle that they live in.
Yeah. All right.
And you talk one way to them, and you talk another way on the internet.
Yeah, sure. And so, but if you're not a Darwinian, and you're more of a religious kind of person, right, then authority also is a problem. Because who's the authority then, right? Must be God or something, right?
I would assume, yeah.
So then you also have a problem. In quote-unquote getting rid of authority, whether you take a look at it from a Darwinian point of view or a religious point of view.
Well, that's probably one of those times where I chose to not pay any attention to it.
Okay, yeah.
That I can say, yeah, because I don't know. God or no God, I don't even see how it really matters. It's something in your head. You tell other people, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me as a topic of discussion with others outside to analyze it as what the hell are we doing this for?
Yeah.
I don't really see a lot of good coming out of anything that's got more than 100 members in their organization. Yeah. Once you get over about 150 people, then you start breeding thieves and weirdos.
Yeah, it's. I guess you've heard of Larkin Rose?
A few times, yeah. I like what he's had to say.
Yeah. He's good. Most of his ideas I like. I've read his book On Air Live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And,
he was traumatized by the state, so he has a foundation to speak from, experience. These aren't just only his opinions. I mean, this is what the guy lived through and found out the hard way.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks don't think it applies to them. Oh, that'll never happen to me. Well, the that'll never happen to me thing is getting smaller and smaller by the day.
Yeah.
How do you see it? How do you see it from where you're at? You're not in a big crowded metropolis, are you?
Well, the city has about 180,000 people in it.
Okay, yeah, that's big enough. Never mind.
Which is kind of big for Dutch standards.
It's big, period, yeah.
Yeah, Amsterdam has like more than 1 million, but yeah, it's capital of the province we're in, so it's considered big. Yeah.
And you're working in the public with the knowledge that you have about the things that really matter in life.
Yeah.
It must be, and then you give up on the internet for a while. Then I get you to come on the show. The roller coaster it's interesting to me. You know, I make my decisions and then I find myself doing the very thing I said I wasn't going to do because it's necessary to do it. You know, I want to means it's necessary.
You know, I just think that I can't afford to let it influence me anymore.
Because is your
it's wrecking my life, you know?
Yeah.
I think that goes for more people, by the way. But
yeah, but we don't, as people, we don't talk too much back and forth about, it's my mind to make up about whatever I think. Has nothing to do with you. You're not, I mean, as far as reality goes, this conversation is real, but physically, there's no reality here.
Oh, yeah, we had that discussion earlier. You know, I'm more of an objectivist, right?
Right, and I'm subjective, yeah.
Yeah, that can clash at some points.
and like Mary or like Larry Woods or like Vince, when I clash with certain people, it's not the end of the world for anybody. It's just, we just don't see that same thing the same way. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Go on to the next thing that we agree on, or talk about the thing we don't.
Yeah, exactly. At least we can have a normal discussion.
Yeah, without...
And that's also far sought nowadays, you know.
Yeah, but me and Vince have gone to words. Fuck you and this, that, and that. And we always end up the next day, hey, what's up?
Yeah, okay.
It's not a personal... At first I thought it was, but over time I started to see, this guy doesn't care. He doesn't care. I'm the one caring. Doesn't have... What difference does yesterday make now? You know, try to bring the good bits and leave the shit that didn't work out so good behind you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not easy for me to do, but I try to keep the thought in my mind somewhere that I'm the one living my life and I'm in control of how I feel about shit. So if I let somebody praise or insult me, it's me letting it happen. I can take it however I like. Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's a lesson that many people still haven't learned. It's like they let other people control their feelings. They've given the power away to other people about how they feel.
Yes, that's what I do. I know.
Yeah.
After the fact, I know it.
That power. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying after the fact, I remember sometimes. I lose it, and then I put the brakes on and catch up and realize, oh, yeah, I'm the idiot sitting here mad about what? What am I mad about? And who am I mad at? So then I put it down and go on to the next thing. Because I realized when I was first talking with Cirque, when I first met her on the internet, I was walking to a friend's house one day to go get some smoke or something, and I started to think about, I can't be mad and I can't be happy at the same exact moment. I tried it. I can't. Maybe out there in the world there's people that are just far superior and they can accomplish this feat, but I can't do it. I got to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Because unlike the rest of the mankind that I'm a part of, I'm only capable of having one thought at a time. But with all this trickery and gadgets and shit I'm surrounded by, I think I'm a lot smarter than I really am. Well, it makes you more capable. When you think you're smart, then you can do shit, blah, 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 blah. And I've learned in my life that if I don't think I'm smart, I'm more likely to get help on where I'm weak and then let go of when I'm strong and let people let me do what I do well. And when I'm not doing so well at something, they help me out. I call it balance. I call it balance. You know, compensation, because one person, you need people in this life. People grow your food, people pump your water, make your electricity, blah, 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 blah. So to get along in this crazy crap we're in is difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I blame it on communication.
Well, I don't know if we can blame it on anything, because this process started like long, very, very long ago. And it's like we got here at this point through thousands of years of history, and I don't think that anyone could have seen it coming, so to speak.
Well, that's a good way to put it, yeah. But we've been told... Here's one of the things that confuses me about history and education and such, is we get told something in 1959, and then in 1995 we found out what they said in 1959 was nonsense. Never happened that way. So once you learn that that's happened to you, how do you ever trust the authority again about anything?
Yeah, that's recent history, and in recent, if you look at a couple of 100 years, okay, then you can see it coming. But like I said, this started when we found out that when you put seeds in the ground, it actually grows. That's when the whole shit started, you know? That's when we were able to make more food than we needed. That's when we were able to build cities. That's when we were able to specialize in things like architecture and things like that. You see, that's where it started. And it manifests itself now in this form, right?
Yeah, but the form that we're in today is very violent and negative.
Yeah, sure.
And it's not a pretty thing to look at.
No, absolutely not.
Why? Why do we make it this way? What is going on that directs our thoughts in the direction that they go?
I don't think that the question, why do we make it this way, it might be invalid, because there is a possibility that nobody's in control. There's
I would say I'm in control of me.
Levels. Sorry, what?
I would say I'm in control of me.
Yeah, but not of what's going on in the world as a whole.
No. I'm not insane. No, I'm not insane. I was just saying that.
So the question of why does this happen? It may be very hard to answer.
Well, which way do you lean on it? Education, religion, politics?
Well, those are the factors that have been influenced in the last couple of 100 years. And that has led to the kind of society that we live in today. But there are deeper causes. And now, in this world economy, right, I don't think... there is a known future, right? They call it the horizon in the people that do in this business, projecting the future, right? They have a horizon, and they say that 50 years from now, they can't even think about what will be, because there are so many influences that it's too difficult, too complex to be able to tell what the future will bring. And I think
But haven't they always said that?
They always... No, I don't think so. I think life for us now is changing so much faster than life was for people, say, 150 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. But see, all I have is books and stories to go on. I wasn't here then. So I don't really know. All I know is that there's a whole lot of people that go around destroying history with war and shit. And you can't prove things 100 years later except so-and-so said so. Or there's a law, or some nonsense like that.
Okay, I'm not quite sure where you're going with this. I'm the kind of guy that likes to examine evidence like fossils and things like that. Are they also out of your purview, or?
Okay, and the way I would answer it, I'm going to give you a kind of a strange answer to this. If I needed a blood test, right, and I'm not qualified to read the chart that's determining what my blood is supposed to be. You following me here? So that's the way I see. How do I know that's a relic? How do I know what I'm looking at is? I've been so deceived for so long.
I understand what you mean, and this is where the correct use of the word authority comes in, because you can ask a friend of John Anthony West and Laird Scranton. I can't come up with his name at the moment. I had him on my show also. He's an archaeologist. He knows all about rock, right?
Yes.
So if he says to me that these Göbekli Tepe is 12,000 years old, then I accept his authority. I can't confirm that for myself. How would I be able to do that, right?
Exactly. That is my point. That's the only real point I'm trying to make, is you have to take the word of another person. Because there's no way for one guy to sit here with all this information and prove everything right or wrong. It's insane.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the society that I'm from, the one I'm originated in, has let me down so much over such a long period of time in my life that I find it hard to believe anything that I hear about them or from them. Because everything I know of them is all based on bullshit. So to me, what's the point of going back before that? What, somebody told the truth until 1861 and then they went, fuck the truth. We don't need that anymore. No. This results we live in today, in my opinion, are the end of a well thought out, brilliantly executed plan. Yeah. You couldn't fuck something up this badly on accident.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a plan going on here. That's true, but
right.
But that's only the last couple of 100 years, right? Not really, because world conquest, it's not a new idea in that sense. The Pope had it for a long time, right?
Queen of England had it,
Yeah. So
they were shipping heroin over to China in the 1600s.
Yeah, but I don't think that the average person living on the land had that much influence from the Reich, so to speak, right? Than we do today. I think we are much worse off today. I think. Even though we now have electricity and all of the good stuff.
Hey guys, Grimner here. Do you mind if I chime in on this a bit?
Help yourself, Grimner.
All right. Well, I've been listening, and basically you're talking about two distinct, different versions of what authority is, and authority as being an expert on a topic, a subject, a range of subjects. That's great. I have no problem with that, because you're going to determine whether or not a person is an expert based on what they've done over a period of time, and whether or not their results have been correct and right. So they may be some expert on something and they know a lot about a thing, and therefore you determine whether or not they're an authority on that subject. The other part of it is where it becomes a power thing, a control thing, which is what we've got now. When people say authority, they're talking about governments and police and armies and things like that, where they force what they claim themselves to be authority over you. not authority on a subject. Well, unless of course you understand that you are the subject, but
yeah.
But the problem is not so much with them claiming the authority as it is with people believing that these folks are the authority, that they have authority over you and your life. Which is, and you mentioned Larkin Rose earlier, a quote that I've been using for many years now, that authority, the belief in authority is the root of all evil. People always say, money's the root of all evil, or things like that, but that's not it. It's the authority, because money itself only has value at this point in time, anyway, because people believe that the issuing people of that have the authority to control what has value, and so they print some numbers on a piece of paper and say that's got that much value.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. That's why I, at the beginning of the program, said, well, you need to look carefully at this word authority, because it's very ambiguous. And indeed, what you point out is the belief in authority. And you mentioned the word subject. Did you know that it said that in my passport? I'm subject of the Queen. Yeah. And and I went to my parents, and I said, what does this mean, right? And they said, well, the Queen can do anything with you that she likes. And I said, really? And I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, that's kind of strange idea. But people accept it for some reason. I don't understand, but they accept it.
Well, it goes back to that statement you made earlier that most people are followers. And they're looking for somebody to take control and tell them what to do and how to run their lives. So it's so easy for somebody that wants to, or some group of people that want to claim control over the rest of the people, to just say, look, we've got the money, we've got the guns, we've got the power, and therefore you're under our control. So you are subject to their whims and their will.
Yeah. But it also reminds me of this quote that I heard when I came to American radio for the first couple of months or so, that about this Constitution, and that there was this lady that had come up to this shack where this all happened, and she had asked, what have you given us? Right? And then the answer was, a Constitution if you can keep it, right?
Right.
But that whole attitude of that woman is like asking for authority, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what she said. Because a group of rich white landowners got together in a little building and decided the fate of everybody. And so when they come walking out, and she asked, what have you given us? The guy replied, who is it, Jefferson or Washington?
I don't know.
Might have been Franklin. I don't know. Anyway, he said a republic if you can keep it.
Yeah.
But as we saw how it turned out, we knew how it was going to. And if we were alive at that point in time and looking forward, I'm sure we all would have known exactly how it was going to turn out.
Yeah, whoever has the most guns wins.
Excuse me. Yeah, but that story, it brings to me a picture of a whole group of people just waiting outside of this shack where these landowners are debating, right? like a bunch of sheep in a pen or something. Right? That's the idea that it brings across. It brings across a
sense of something, huh? Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my English here.
No, he dropped his English and he can't get up.
Oh my God. In Dutch we say nederig. It's like humble, I guess is the word.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to lower yourself.
A humble group of people that comes and goes and asks, what have you given us?
Yeah, yeah. Humble.
I'm not exactly sure what the situation was at that point. Was it like a chaotic situation?
I don't know. It was Grimm's story, I think.
No, that was Walter's story, but.
Okay.
Yeah, this was 1776, right?
Yeah. It was the. I mean, that was kind of the beginning of the Revolution, right? The American Revolution. So,
that was before, not after. I'm a noob on American history. You know, we don't get that here in Europe.
Me too. And I was from there, and I couldn't tell you what year you're talking about.
Well,
so that was before the Revolution. Okay.
Sounds it.
Did the king in England get word of this constitution being put up, and then he went to war? Is that what it went?
Not the way I read it.
Yeah,
it was it was about money, and the people that were living on the English side wanted tax money. And the people that lived on the what is now America side didn't want to give it to them.
Okay.
So they decided to fight over it. And apparently, at the end of the Revolutionary War, King George said it was too costly and abandoned it.
Okay.
I mean, they reattacked later in 1812 from the north, but that's another story.
Oh, okay. Huh.
See, it's like a hidden. They actually burned Washington D.C. to the ground, but somehow, magically, that Constitution survived it. Even though the Library of Congress was wiped out, and I guess the sitting president was like Johnson or Adams or something. Anyway, he had to give up his library to replace the one that got burnt. But magically, and I say magically, that Constitution, by God, did not get destroyed. But in 1861, they changed one word in the title, and all of a sudden, U.S. became a corporation. So, I don't know. I think I've been screwed again.
Yeah, I checked that out. The U.S. it can be found as a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been created by government, I suppose. Is that correct?
Who else could create anything besides government? That's the whole point. You know, the local Boy Scouts aren't going to create anything. They're just kids. So you leave all this shit to the grown-ups that know what they're doing.
So is there then a difference between the United States as a country, if there is such a thing,
and
or as a state, and the United States as a corporation, or are the two the same thing?
No, actually, yeah, there's one disguised as the other. It's a corporation disguised as a country. And all the documents are all done in legalese and trickery and deceit, special little rules of engagement. If you speak or write, we've got your consent. Shit like that. They don't tell you that going in. They tell you that after the game's over. So it's a rigged game from the beginning to the end, and I'm not playing it for nothing. Not for no dollars. No way.
There's one little story that's always amused me, and I don't even know if it's true or not. But apparently King George kept a journal, and every day he'd write down what had happened over the recent day. And so and he would write down, this people, were doing bad things, or we benefited this group over here for whatever on his day. But on the day of July 4th, 1776, the day the Declaration of Independence was signed and sent over, King George's entry in his journal was, "Nothing important happened today."
Yeah.
Okay. So, and there again, who knows? Maybe the 4th of July was a day they made up just to have something to say. They don't know what day it was,
Well, that's the day the Declaration was signed, so.
So they say. Well, yeah, but.
Well, it's on ink.
But but who was the guy that invented the clock, and how did he know what time it was when he did it? I don't know, Grim. It's just too big of a thing to me for this to be one guy's work. This is a big group of people that had a specialty in this area and a specialty in that area, and they got together and they figured out how to abuse the rest of us with what they knew collectively.
That's true.
And they've hidden the frequencies and the vibrations from us. Most people, when I talk about it, still, what the hell is that hippie talking about now? You know? And I think it's the stuff that really runs our life, but we're sold this indoctrination that makes us believe government, religion, and education does, when that ain't got shit to do with it. That's just to keep you in line so you'll go along with the shit that you're getting. Because given a choice, a normal human person today, given a choice, would you rather live like you are living now, or would you rather be in charge of yourself? Probably 10% of us would choose it, opt out of this whole thing. And that leaves a majority of 90%, which is overwhelming. We can't fight that.
I don't know if that's true. I think changes will come. I think it's inevitable. Changes will come. I'm not sure what direction these changes will take, but you know, people thought that the Earth was flat a couple of 100 years ago, and
some people do still.
Did you know there could be even bigger consciousness changes coming? Did you know, for instance, that we look at perspective today as something normal, right? Everybody knows what perspective is, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
years
did
ago.
You know, we didn't even notice that until around 1500.
Well, it makes sense
as a strange
story,
idea, right?
Right. Well, it makes sense as a story, but I don't know. I mean, how do you judge intelligence from, a time perspective? I don't know how to do that. I would just assume, for some reason, that somebody that was born in 1500 was just like I am. They just had different toys to play with.
Well, as to the changes that will come, just remember what George Orwell said. If you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's a
I
bad
want to do it.
vision.
I want to do it different. Oh yeah, and I took over the world Saturday, and boy, you guys really suck. I'm telling you. No, I did it kind of as a practical mental joke for me, and I really got a meaning out of it, because I see this ruling the world and owning $1 billion and all this crap as a bunch of nonsense, right? It's a shared illusion. We all play in it. I've traveled around to see that it's pretty much the same everywhere you go, but the way that if you live in one place your life, you're going to hear stories about these other places without ever going to see them with your own two eyes.
Yeah.
So you're going to believe the shit that you're told. And I was lied to about every place I ever went to by somebody that probably never actually had been there. They just heard stories.
Huh.
And now, I mean, I started out in L.A., and I made it all the way to Denmark. So, and the trek was back and forth. I went to England a couple times, back to California, went down to Mexico, up to Canada, England a couple times, and then ended up with Cirque here in Denmark. Thank you, sweetheart. And I would have never known this was going to happen. There was no way to know this was coming in my life ever until it happened.
Huh.
So, I don't know. I guess the lesson I've learned in life is whatever I think is going to happen is nothing compared to what's really going to happen.
Huh. Yeah,
And then, when you've got yourself, is this a new job that you were telling me about, or have you done it before?
Yeah, kind of. I was working at a nursery, and I saw that there was an opening at Intratuin. It's like a store where you can buy plants, but also a lot of other things.
Gardening supplies and such, or
yeah, stuff like that, and chairs.
So you're outside? Are you outside in the air?
No. I'm inside. I'm working the cashier. People come to me with their stuff, and I do bleep, 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 and then the computer says €10, 20, and then they pay me, and then they go on their merry way.
Are you learning anything about the plants, or is it just a way to make a living?
It's just a way to make a living.
Do you like it? Right. Do you like it?
It's a good job. Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing for me to learn, was to never do anything for money I wasn't willing to do for free.
Okay, yeah, well...
I was stubborn about, I need money, I got to do something, and I do some shitty jobs just because I needed money, and not because I wanted something to do. When I turned all that around the other way, the struggles, stop fighting it all. It just went easier.
Yeah, okay. Well, naturally, I'm drawn to crowded places where I would be the guy behind the bar, right? And so I did that for like 6 or 10 years or so. Yeah. And I really like it. You know, you meet a lot of people, you hear a lot of stories, you get a lot of information. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, the connections are good, yeah.
Yeah, and so now I also meet like, I would say, at busy times, at least 750 people. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what kind of input do you get from them that makes your day better?
Jokes most of the time.
Are most of them, would you say, we'll use a judgment call on this because, we'll be judgmental pricks for a minute. Would you say most of them are like what I would consider mainstream, normal, or are some of them free thinkers that do what they want? 99%.
99%.
Wow.
Normal people, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, because I've done the opposite. I've become a recluse in the house, so to speak. And I go to town, and I've had no luck with the Danish, so I just gave up trying to learn it and just interact with people that will speak a little English to me. And it narrows the conversations down quite a bit, too. You can't get into an argument from, hey, have a nice day. Click.
Yeah.
It's a completely, I'm going to go back to what I brought up to interrupt you earlier with, is I think communication is actually the trap that holds us back from anything that could work for us.
Well, yeah, communication is a difficult thing. I've talked about language in the past a lot of times, and on the one hand, I think it's a prison within which we can express ourselves. On the other hand, I think it's, in Terence McKenna's words, the most novel thing in the universe. Right? So somehow this Earth has, I don't think we come from outer space, guys. This Earth has brought forth a living organism that is communicating somehow. And this is kind of new also for Earth's history,
I've heard a lot of stories about how old Earth is. I've never just been told one thing, and I guess that's where all the confusion and the thinking for yourself shit started. Was the adults would have 5 different stories for the same question. Yeah. It was like, wait a minute. At school it's one answer. How come here it's like 5 different people tell you 5 different things? What's going on? Well, what was going on is the 5 different people telling you the different things were telling you the truth. And the one person telling everybody the same story was fucking lying. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, it's so opposite of what society represents itself to be that I don't think I ever had a faith in it. Whatever it is, it's a loser. Causes nothing but divisiveness and problems and suffering and money and this is mine, and I'm going to put you in jail because you didn't wear a seatbelt through that red light you drove through. And what the fuck have we become? You know, it's like a bunch of sniveling little babies that all want our way about shit that doesn't have nothing to do with us. And it's all of us. I'm not immune. I've wanted a few people to get knocked over a couple times. But the last couple years, I've had the ability, I would say, to look at more my interactions into shit and how it's me. It ain't fucking got nothing to do with you. You know, it's all... I can control my life, and you can control your life, and then we speak to each other during some part of the day. It doesn't have to be a battle, you know. And people, there's a lot of them that don't realize that because they watch too many films, you know, they read too many newspapers, or they believe the stories they're told. I mean, it's like there's a real life out there, and then there's the life that you believe is out there. And they're two different lives.
Yeah.
Okay, now, where I'm living now, there's no police in the immediate area. It's like 20 kilometers away to the closest cops. And they got one car, and they got like a 60-mile or whatever, 60 kilometers to cover. So there's no police presence. So what do the people do? They behave themselves. They treat each other pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And there's an unspoken kind of international law, man. Don't fuck with me, and I won't fuck with you. And and even when somebody doesn't, you know, they don't smile back, and they get a little bit of a toot.
Yeah.
I understand that.
What you're pointing at is actually very important. I don't know if Grimner is still here. Are you still here, Grim?
Yep, still here.
Yes, not. Oh, yeah, hi. I don't know if you heard what Vince said, Flash said, but that situation is also a feeding ground for customs. You see? For how we behave socially with each other, right? And that's also where customs and in Dutch we say gewoontes. I don't know. In English again, I'm sorry, but that's where the laws also come from. See?
Are you referring to the written law, or are you talking about the one that we have in our head that we already know not to cross?
That's a good question.
Because in society, man, when you don't speak the local lingo, you have to still be aware of what you're doing. There's protocols in public that if you slap somebody in the face, and you're going to have a fight. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, to us, it's not something you have to think about. To a lesser mind that pops off for no reason, hey, what are you looking at? One of those idiots.
Habits. Yeah.
Yeah. And
habits was the word I was looking for. See, when we were, let's assume this is correct, right? I don't know if you guys want to go with me here, but when we were still walking around in nature with stone tools, and
I like that.
we were walking as a group, you know, probably 30 people or something, or maybe 10, I don't know. But there were also behaviors and customs that we had, and children would pick up these behaviors and customs, and those are the things that became quote-unquote laws, right? Like, do not kill, do not steal, and things like that. And so that's where the whole point of authority begins to sneak in, begins to creep in, because who's going to make sure that you don't kill anybody, right? So that it's a conundrum that we are in.
Well, that would be like give me a simpler word. I got the gist, but not the definition. Like a puzzle.
No. It's like
we
agree, right? That we.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But then there's a gap there, right?
Well, Well,
that's
no,
where
I'm not.
Authority comes creeping in because we agree on certain rules.
Yeah.
Right? Authority comes creeping in from below. You see? That's where it had to be stopped. But we didn't do that.
Huh. Oh, yeah. So now it's got to be written down and enforced and badged and gunned and all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I would still say that the best I've ever gotten out of verbal communication with anybody is it led to contract. Outside of that, everything else just came and went. You know, it made my life what it was. At the end, all you got is your memories and what you can look around and see with your eyes. As if you got eyes to look out of anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's a very difficult topic, especially because it's you as a subjectivist talking to me as an objectivist. Because I think that language is a tool that can be used to point at reality, right? So language and reality are two things that are pretty closely tied somehow.
If you're in the same language as the person you're talking to, not if you have no verbal communication, in a sense, you're going to get along in a way that's not, it's not average and normal, it's different.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was responding to Chloe in the chat. Could you repeat?
Oh, no. I said, let me see how to put this. Oh, well, it came and went. But, well...
Suck Puppet is talking to you.
Yeah, he said the laws of the mind are agreed upon moral standards. And, right, but this whole thing about moral standards in the first place is a bunch of shit. Because... inside of all of us, we already have an inherent knowledge of what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
And the people that raise you may dominate one side of that balance or the other, but you already have the information. And in life, I find that I react to external shit depending on my mood. And if I'm in control of my mood, then nothing can go wrong. But it's hard to stay in that frame of mind where I remember I'm having my reality and I'm seeing it the way I want to. Not, oh, they're hurting me. I don't want to be a victim of life, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't really want to tell other people how to live, even though they probably hear it that way. All I'm saying is that I'm comfortable in the shit I'm in. I hope you guys find something that makes you feel good. You know, I don't wish any bad on anyone.
The one thing you pointed at is, I think, one of the more important things. You said about morals, that we all have it inside of us already, right?
I believe. Well, see, this is me.
Yeah.
Because I look at my fellow man, and most of them don't speak my language, so we've got this communication going on beyond language. What is it? It's something. It's mental.
But,
you don't talk, you just know. So you're not in a cowering, shivering mess of fear walking down the street because some stranger might hurt me. I don't live like that.
Yeah. So, but I asked this question to a philosopher once, like, where do we get our morals from? Because morals is very much tied to ethics, right?
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Ethics is the third branch of philosophy. So I thought I'd ask a philosopher. Unfortunately, he didn't answer, but I asked another guy, and he pointed out to me that it links a bit to the story I just told about us using stone tools. We pick up these social behaviors from the group that we are born in, right? So somebody that is born in, let's say, the jungle in Africa, in a bushman society, for instance, it will have different morals than you and I will have, who are raised in the Western society, you see?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, yeah, I agree with you that there's something inside of us, which tells us whether when we know whether something is right or wrong, right?
Right. Right.
But also we are conditioned in a way.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying we're not conditioned. I'm not saying I'm not conditioned. I'm just saying that beyond verbal communication with other people, that there's something else that you can do, and it works.
Uh-huh.
And it's a form of communication in a way, but it's like better than talking.
Huh.
That's the way I take it. I walk freely amongst my peers and in no fear, and it's comfortable. The weather's a little chilly in the wintertime, I snivel, but the people are good, so it balances out. I give up a little bit in the weather department, but I gain in the society that I live in accepts me as an outsider, and they don't run me out of town on a rail.
Mm-hmm. Sock Puppet is asking, what does ethics mean to me?
Moral, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to you, go ahead.
Like I said, it's the third branch of philosophy, and I've had people disagree with me on this, but I think it's not for nothing that it's the third branch of philosophy, meaning that there's two others coming first. The first two others are metaphysics, which means what's the nature of reality, right? And the second one is epistemology, which means how do you know what you know? Those are two very important things to consider before you start talking about ethics, because as far as I'm concerned, and what Barman says here, an ethical code, right, is derived from your metaphysics and your epistemology. So depending on what you think reality is, you develop a ethical code for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
A behavior code, so to speak.
I even took it as far as to say that I believe my intentions get me my results.
Maybe Sock Puppet should come on the show and tell us about it.
Why, what?
I don't know.
Let's see. What?
I don't know. Maybe you want to talk about it. I don't know. I'm just asking,
Yeah,
if that's possible.
You're the guest. You could use the curtains if you want.
Can he come on? Shall I ask him?
Yeah,
I'll ask him.
Get him on. Yeah, get him on the thing.
Yeah, let's see if that's possible.
We're not afraid at the Dork Table to do something different. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I like about live shows. You get to interact with people.
Do stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I really wanted to get a chance to talk to you because, like you said, you're objective and I'm subjective, and even though we collide about certain things, the end result seems to be pretty fucking similar. We get to the same place, taking two different roads, and
when it comes to morals, apparently we do. Yeah, sure.
Don't do no harm, and I don't consider talking to people scarring them for their life because you said you didn't like their hair. That's just stupid. So, do no harm is, well, it's relative. It
I'm a bit more blunt than that. Especially with my friends. I think that's what friends are for. If you're going out with your friend and your friend looks shitty, then you say so. Yes, I'm serious. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but see, I hit a certain point in life where aesthetics wasn't an influence any further.
Aesthetics?
I was in my 30s. Well, what I see, what I could see.
Branch of philosophy.
Well, what I could see, I wear eyeglasses. I'm very nearsighted, right? So I have this idea in my head that the world that I see isn't the world that you see. And not only that, but when I don't have my correct prescription eyeglasses, I can't read a fucking word on the screen.
Okay.
So these little differences led me to be more individual in my mind than most other people seem to be.
Huh.
Even the Dork Table, right? the whole idea behind it was we were over at a different social site, and we were banished to this table because people were, I don't know, disagreeing about stupid shit, playing children's games in an adult life. So the adults went to this place I called the Dork Table. And I brought it over to RLM, and it's on the Freedom's Network. Got to start pushing the Freedom's Network sat over there for all you internet folk. Get signed up and help Grim and Bo Diddy get their site going.
freedomsnetwork.com.
Yeah, do that. And another thing I've been doing too is when I open the RLM radio stuff, I do it from YouTube so that they'll get the clicks on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
And I know I sound like I'm marketing something, and I guess that's because I am. Because, well, unfortunately, that's the way this shit works, right? So
yeah.
And my skill in life is showing the illusion of working with the machine when I'm really not. But it sure looks like I am. I'm online. You know, you can hear my voice. So obviously I'm playing somehow. But how the hell am I doing it? Who knows? Well, yeah. It's all an illusion to me, you know, because you're wherever you're at and I'm not there. I'm over here. So I look around the room. I don't see any terrorists. I don't see anybody shooting anybody. I don't see, you know, the things that I don't see are all the stuff I read about on the internet.
That's true. I had that experience also. It's like, you know, things are bad, right?
Yeah.
And I mean really, really bad.
Yeah. But they don't know why.
Your own life, then, you know, I got a job, I got a nice house, I got food, you know, what the fuck? There's nobody shooting anybody here, you know, so.
Yeah, exactly. But if your mindset is on disaster all the time, it changes your wavelength. I am a subscriber to the vibration and the wavelength, and whatever part they play in life, it's more important than we're taught it is. And the information and the fuel source to do all these things that we do are manipulated to hurt us as much as possible, but as long as we still keep moving. You know, kill the brain all fucking day and all night, but we want them to move and be able to sign papers. You know, they've been convinced that its work is a good thing. This is what the masters have managed to accomplish. They've got a majority of the planet begging to be workers. Well, that stopped you cold. But, well, in order to survive in life, in modern times, one must have what is known as income.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one, well, then how do you survive? So therefore, if you're going to eat, you're a slave to something because you're forced to do shit to make your daily necessary things happen, so that you can get in the rat wheel and do it again tomorrow.
It's almost inescapable. Yeah. There are some communities here in the Netherlands, especially in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
They fall outside of the law. They don't use any stuff that we normally would, like roads and things like that. They have their own area. If you go in there, the law stops, really. No police ever comes there, right? But you don't have, there's no taxes or anything, you see? And people actually live there.
Yes. There's Freetown, Christiania over here in Denmark.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to Freetown my first time, my jaw hit the ground. I couldn't believe it. I thought, no. And she looked at me and said, oh, yeah.
So those people have a good understanding of what authority is, I think.
More than the one that wants to be a citizen or
more than me even, I think.
Or belong to a corporation. You know, I'm American. It's hard to let go of because I've been doing it so long, and now I'm conquering Denmark. I'm gonna plant me a flag. That's right here. Where's my flag?
You have TV at home?
No, me and Sir, we're computer junkies. I like my movies on YouTube and Netflix and crap, but and to be aware that it's all bullshit when you start it in the first place is a big help. If you get to the point where it's 5 o'clock and you're salivating because your favorite show's on at 6, you have a fucking problem. Something is wrong with you. You seek help immediately. Throw the TV out.
Yeah, I don't have TV either. I threw it out like 15 or 16 years ago or so.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, maybe you had and could tell me what they've been pushing on TV nowadays. I know in Holland it's not much positive.
Oh, anywhere it's not much. See, that's the whole point. If they had positive stuff, they wouldn't tell us because that doesn't serve the purpose that they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, but I know because I hear my colleagues speak on air. Not on air, on my work.
Oh yeah.
And those are the topics that are on TV. You see.
I wouldn't know. Boy, I'd be in the dark. See, that's the beauty of not speaking the language too. I don't do that. What do you call it? Small talk. Sir gets on.
That's what you call cows and calves. That's what we say in Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the universe coming out your ear while I'm talking to you. Where's your universe? Mine's over here. I got a nice grip on my universe. Think I'm going to paint that wall black. There you go. So when you decide to do something, are you a procrastinator or are you a get up and goer and doer? Or does it depend on the task being, defined?
I'm the... Okay. I roll into things. Yeah. That's how I ended up owning a restaurant also. I roll into these things.
Yeah.
What I like and things happen, I guess. Yeah.
So you interact. You actually participate in your own life. Yeah, I found people that'll take a chance in life are a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it was like 16 when I was living on my own. So I had all of the time to decide what I was going to do. And I figured that the school was not going to be it. At that moment they were trying to make me a welder or something to do with metals anyway.
Mm-hmm. And now look at you. Now you're playing with plants. Go figure.
Yeah.
Well, I've been saying for a long time, if I thought I was planning anything, I don't know what I was thinking now, because none of the things that I expected to happen happened. And the things that did happen, I didn't see some of them coming at all. They just kind of went, wow. Boom. Well, define your reality. I mean, some people like to live in one place.
I know. That's
never been like that.
Now when you say
like that.
Define your reality, I'm thinking, but there is only one reality, so.
Right, and that's the part where they're trying to cram us all into this collective when we're all individuals. So instead of playing off the individual aspect of life, and they do it in a competitive way that fucks it all up. Instead of, we never learn how to really work with other people in a way that's good for everybody involved, because society's gotten so fucking big. There's a thief in every corner. And they're the ones wearing the fancy shoes and the neckties, They're going to make your life better. Just sign right here.
Sock Puppet says, ethics is what one applies to oneself, such as their own personal moral standards.
Okay. And how is that, all right, how is that any different from the guy that just gets mad and decides to shoot somebody? Or maybe we're convinced that there's people out there that just get mad and decide to shoot somebody. Because in my whole life, I've still yet to meet anybody that shot anybody. But I've seen a lot of movies. You know, there's a lot of movies about prisons, and there's lots of movies about bank robberies. But you know what I've never seen in my whole 57 years on Earth and all the travelings I ever did? I never saw a bank robbery. I feel cheated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, but not to say that they don't happen, but to the extent of, you know, the media and TV, they want to make this chaos. They're coming out with it the last month or so. They've been throwing that chaos word out there. And these results we're in aren't by accident. This is planned. And I hope that the people that know better stay out of it as much as they can. It's a fight for your very being, my friends, out there in Radio Land. Well, your very soul could be on the list here. I don't know.
Yeah, you believe in that kind of thing, soul?
I don't really know how to explain what I believe. I've never really given it a lot of verbal communication. You know, I believe in something. I'll get. I know that. Okay. But I've never really given a lot of concern. Here's a better way to put it. I don't really give a fuck what difference is it going to make if I do or don't believe it. If it's there, it's there. So my believing it's just that it's incidental. But, you know, you're believing what I believe, that's a stretch. You know, if we both believe the same thing, something's fucking wrong in this world. That's how I got.
If we believe the same thing, then something is wrong?
Yeah, I would say that. That's where groupthink and belonging and all that nonsense that I see comes in. Where what we're doing, we don't agree on the pretty words that we're using. We agree on an idea that it exists. And you got your way of talking about it, and I got my way of talking about it. And we get along, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. I like to have a good time in life and surround myself for the things that I'm comfortable with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you got to sit still and you can't put your feet up on the table, there's something wrong. If that's what you want to do, then you should be able to do it. That's that's the today I've got now. And
I think that's good.
Yeah. But me and Cirque are civilized, you know. We don't throw furniture across the room at each other. And
yeah.
So, right. So, you know, we play on the internet and, you know, we chit-chat a little bit, you know. But the life that I see on the internet is completely different than the life that I see when I look out my little old brown eyes.
Yeah, when you look out the window.
Oh, yeah. Just quiet little town in the middle of nowhere, basically. So, I got lucky. Yeah. But that overpopulation shit was all a plan anyway.
What overpopulation?
The cities.
No, all the cities. Yeah, people that live in cities think that the world is overpopulated. But we've got a long way to go before the whole world is a city.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's room enough, you know, even here in Holland.
They try to destroy as much land as they can along the way.
I checked that out in, I think it was 1990 or something. I went to a farmer in Friesland here in the Netherlands. And that's where, again, the word authority comes in a good use. Because I thought that this farmer has a lot of land and he knows how much food he can produce and how many people live on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, I said, how much land would we need in the Netherlands to feed everybody? And at that time we had 14 million people living here. And he said, oh, province Flevoland is enough. And that's like 1/10 of our land, of our total land, you see? So with 10% of our land, we can feed everybody.
Right.
Right? Do you know how uncrowded it really is?
Yes, I do.
And then we are at the top of the list in the when it comes to being crowded countries, right? We're not. We're absolutely not. I've driven through the northern parts of our country. It's completely empty. There's nobody there.
Right.
And then half of this country is woods. There's nobody there.
See?
Right? It's total nonsense that there's overpopulation. It's rubbish.
It's right. It's a planned obsolescence. I think it was necessary for them to get this far in their little plan that they've been working us on. You know, like with birth certificates and money and all this other shit that they've managed to pull off. Nuclear radiation, that was a good one. Hey, let's make B-17 illegal and radiate them instead. That'll work. Did I go around your head there?
No. It's just that
you knew exactly what I was talking about.
It's a good example.
Okay, because a lot of people are not aware of that detail. And when I was close to a family relative, wouldn't listen to me at all either.
Huh.
And I don't get it. The answer is this, but you're going to go do that. That's not the way to work it. But the medical establishment, being what they are, they're like, I don't know, whatever people tell them, they tell people to do shit, they listen, they do it.
Yeah, it's the medical system here in the Western world is completely the other way around. You know, doctors get paid when people are sick. That's the wrong thing here. Doctors should get paid if people are healthy.
Yeah.
Then we get a healthy society. You betcha.
Big time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but as long as they get paid when we are sick, forget it.
Mm.
You know, forget it.
Well,
I'm going to put out some water for some tea. I'll be right back.
Hey, Grim, you still hanging around?
I'm still here.
So how far... me and Solvinur are clashing on our ideology here on your radio program.
That's your radio program.
Well, you know, you're the RLM guy. And hell, I couldn't do this radio crap by myself. I don't know what it is. I need to just sit. I think I'll have Mary start getting me to do the broadcasting from my end. And she can just tell me what to do as I go so I don't screw it up.
Right, yeah, it's probably a good idea. I mean, you know, get yourself
I know.
practice, setting things up and just
Well, I really regret not recording the one I did with Moose.
Yeah, well.
So that's why I've been so, afraid to get back in the pilot seat. But I figured out an answer to my problem. And that would be I'll just have Mary guide me through it when we do the Dork Table, and I'll just air it from my side. There you go.
I'm sitting here watching my Audacity scroll across the screen as it records everything that's being said here.
Is it good?
Is it good? Well, I mean, it's as good as what's going into it.
Thanks a lot. Well, I just like with Larry Woods, I just had a feeling I wanted to do a fun show, but something about something serious. And when it comes to this side of the equation, I think of Walter.
Walter's great on these topics.
Yeah, he's a thinker guy, and I'm an asking questions guy. I like to ask a lot of questions. Ooh. And Walter has got a really good way of answering them. So I got lucky enough get him to come on the Dork Table.
I found it interesting that Walter describes himself as an objectivist, and you just described yourself as a subjectivist, and I'm not really sure how anybody could be totally one way or the other. I mean, it's great to be able to look at information and base your views off of facts and things you can point at, but also there's so much information that's just not known that to say, well, I can't prove that, so it's not real. That's the objectivist point of view, right?
And that's where the word stubborn comes into mind, right?
Well,
I'm definitely objectivist on some topics that like mathematics. There's no playground there. It is what it is. Yeah,
that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, but
we're still. I lean more to one side than the other. I would assume. From my, from looking at myself, I lean to one side, and then looking at Walter, he leans to that side. But you got moments where you borrow the other side. It's balanced.
Sure. Oh, I do all of the time. I mean, I also said that the future is unknown, right? That
exactly.
I don't know where we're going, and I don't know how we got here, right? That's not specifically objectivist,
Oh, I thought didn't we evolve from apes or come out of a rib or something?
I've got problems with that philosophy, but it's the best I can come up with at the moment.
Somebody once said to me, I don't remember the whole conversation, but it was about that Darwin shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, if we come from apes, how come there's still apes? And I thought for a second, I went, oh, you don't know what a genetic deformity is, do you?
I mean, we still have wolves, right?
Yeah, but
what's the problem here?
The answer is so rude, though. We're the genetic deformity of a fucking ape. Wow. Because they're still apes, so we're the weird one. You go, wow.
Yeah, I'm more of a Terence McKenna guy here. I'm thinking that if you look at the history of the universe, it gets more and more complex from second one, right? Let's assume that this Big Bang fairy tale is true, and that more and more complexity keeps appearing in nature, beginning with atoms and more complex atoms, and then molecules, and then prebiotic molecules, and it just keeps on going more and more complex. And as to now, we are the most complex living being here on this earth. And I think that the universe is going somewhere with this. Not specifically with the humankind or with us humans, but that this is a step in some kind of unknown, more complex direction, you see?
Yeah, but who would know anyway? And how would we be able to trust them if they told us? This game is ridiculous. So, I mean, it can't be anything more than a joint illusion. It's too ridiculous. It's too ridiculous.
Yeah.
No matter what they tell me, I've not seen the worst of it.
Not seen the worst of it?
No, not with my own two eyes, hands-on, no. I've only heard other people tell stories or seen pictures, but as far as my personal life, nah. I didn't leave a wake of dead bodies behind me or bank robberies or nothing.
Yeah, well, I do have some of that. I mean, I really feel like government is stealing my money.
Oh, yeah.
I work 24 hours and,
Yeah. But they're not,
really?
They're not actually stealing your money. They're stealing your life. Because part of your life, a portion of your life is used to produce that money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what they're stealing is your life from you.
Yeah, I agree. It's even worse than that, yeah. Worse than stealing money, yeah. Stealing the life force, so to speak.
It's safe to say that this little group of 5 or 6 souls here have that innate ability to distinguish from right and wrong without being told. Okay, that's the level of authority that I recognize. When they got to wear I even got a picture of a cop when I was in Scotland. I really had to ask the guy like a lot of times. He didn't want to do it. And then at the end, he smiled for the camera and took the picture with me anyway. And I put it on the my Twitter thing, I think, or Dork Table, one or the other. Huh?
Do you have a website?
No, I got a Twitter thing. I'm a Twitterer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would never give in to that damn Facebook again. But I figured, well, a little getting out in the world, on the electronic world, I needed to do it. So I went to the Twitter route.
Yeah, I did that with Facebook when I started making radio as well. I'm thinking, okay, I better make a Facebook page with my name before somebody else does it.
With my name. Jeez. See, and we're all stuck in these, they're just really crazy traps, right? I can't think how many people I meet in a daytime, right? One day goes by, blah, blah, blah. But people are so concerned today about their identity.
Yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What the fuck is that about? Identity on the internet.
Yeah, I lost that too when I decided to step out of it, right? It's like unimportant to me anymore. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but without your slave name, you can't do any transactions. So, I don't know. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't like that one too much, huh?
Yeah, no, it's a trap.
But, well, I mean, they got all of us. I'm not exempt from this life. I got married to Cirque. I mean, we're in this crap together. We just do different shit. Yeah. And life is definitely not boring. But there you go.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get through the rest of the week after this show?
Oh, well, I got 2 days of work ahead of me. But that's good, because those days get paid better.
That's a weekend days?
There's Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah. So
yeah, they don't work you to death out in this part of the world like they do at home, Grim. They treat their slaves a lot better here. It's almost, I mean,
not really.
As living in both places, I'm telling you, I have picked this over
they have
our way.
Nice padding on the shackles over there.
Yeah, they're so nice and comfortable.
Fur-lined shackles.
Fur-lined, yeah. You get a towel to dry off with and everything.
Nice.
No need. True.
But I mean, well, I'm speaking for me. It's not as invasive and intrusive as the one I'm from. I think the system treated me just fine so far. No, but being in America, I don't know how people would treat Cirque, being from somewhere else. You know, I don't have a lot of faith in my fellows back home anymore. Ouch. Not you guys, you know, but
no, I think Cirque would do fine if it'd probably drive her crazy being here because of the way it is compared to where you are. But I think she could handle herself very well.
Oh, thanks a lot, Graham. I needed to hear that. No, I what am I trying to say? I don't know. She's very nice in ways that my memories of home aren't.
Well, look at it. Maybe because home, as the U.S. as a whole, as an entity, you can't really say that because I lived in San Diego for 40 years. From the time I was 4 years old till I was 44, and then I moved out here to this tiny little town, and it's not even the same world. I mean, for you, maybe it's like going from L.A. to the Netherlands. It's just maybe not that extreme, but it's completely a different experience to live in a town of less than 2,000 people as opposed to a town of 2 million people.
Yes. Yeah. And it is that extreme because it happened to you, your way.
Well, yeah.
I don't think there's any difference.
I mean, just the people that you run into wherever you go about your daily stuff in the store, wherever, even on the road driving. People are just nicer here. They're not all uptight and just ready to kill everything, you know.
Yeah.
That what do you call it? Disposable economy needs a city to survive because it wouldn't fool people in the small place wouldn't put up with it.
Yeah, there's a couple of things here in the Netherlands that people in small areas don't put up with. And a friend of mine, he went to live there, and he's not recognized by those people, by anybody. You know, they treat him as a stranger, even though he's lived there now for more than 20 years, right? But guess what? His daughter, who was born there, gets all the respect. Everything.
Yeah. Understandable, actually.
Yeah.
She's one of them.
Yeah, she's one of them. Yeah.
When I grow up, I'm never going to be one of them.
You already are.
I promise. No. Nah. They kicked me out of their group a long time ago. Well, actually, it's a group that I never joined. I never filed an income tax. Never filed once. So.
Well, here it happens automatically. There's no escaping.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Because this is, but when I'm.
Wait! You don't have to actually file over there. They file for you.
If you're just a slave, you don't. If you are a store owner or something like that, then yes, you have to file.
Oh, interesting.
And if you're a slave and you think you've paid too much, then you can ask your stolen money back.
Well, the whole personal tax filing situation here in the U.S. is huge business.
Yeah.
And it's extremely intentionally complex for that reason, so that this whole tax preparer industry can make tons and tons of money every year.
Wow.
Well, there's no IRS law that says you got to pay federal income tax.
I realize that, but then again,
they can show you no law. There's never been anything in print that they could show the public, but they've got guns and lots of police, so they enforce their shit.
Right? Yeah. You were talking about Larkin Rose earlier, and his situation sprang from that very situation, where he was saying there ain't no law. I ain't paying. You got rules on your books that say I don't have to pay this, and they convicted him anyway.
That's because it's an admiralty court. That's a whole Mickey Mouse bullshit thing about law in the first place. Is people assume for some reason that if you go through the process, you're going to get treated fairly, and that's not true. It's a bunch of shit.
Right. Yeah, true.
And how do you know that? Well, I know by the results of what I look around and see in the world.
Yeah, it's about money, and I tell you why. In Holland, the court, we call it a rechtbank. And the last 4 letters of that word is B-A-N-K. B-A-N-K. That's a bank. That's what it is. You see? Yeah,
Well,
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
You say it's about
This
money,
is not-
but it's really about
This
control.
word hasn't been Orwellianized yet. They call it a rechtbank, which translates literally to right bank. Strange, huh?
Right.
It's about money.
Well, like I said, you say it's about money, but it's really about control. Because they don't care about money. They can print all the money they want. But
True.
if they can they can say, you give us this portion of your life, this money, then they have control over you. And they want that control so to make you realize that you are indeed a subject.
Yeah.
So that's it. It comes down to who's the master and who's the slave.
Really back because in the rechtbank, in the court, guess who's hanging there, as a picture, being represented by
Some royalty.
Every court has a queen or a king. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Monarch.
Hey, you know what?
Anyway, yeah.
A country of immigrants, isn't that like an oxymoron?
well, the we are part is an oxymoron.
Well, I don't know. Your little town sounds like it suits you. And Walter sounds like he's comfortable in the surroundings he's in. And I'm happier than a pig in shit. So where's all the unhappy people at?
In the city.
They're not.
I'm here. I'm unhappy. Can I volunteer to be unhappy? Yeah.
You can be any. That's the whole point. It's your life, and you can be whatever you want to be. And if you really think that drinking a certain what's that Red Bull? What's that shit? Cirque was telling me. It's some kind of energy drink.
Monster.
Yeah. The U.S. is all hooked on this shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, but we know what's in it. It's like Drano, so don't drink it. But you're better off just go get a bottle of prune juice and get some freaking 151 and mix that. You're going to get the same result.
I was tempted last night. I was at the grocery store last night, and I was actually tempted to buy some soda. I haven't bought soda for, 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had there a stack of various sodas from Mexico. And they had the Fanta Orange there. I was like, oh, wow, I remember that stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah. See, they're working you.
Yeah, I didn't get any, but I was tempted.
Well, but that's what I mean. That being aware I'm in control of what I do is a hard place to be at. And that's how I would equate that. One of those times where temptation, but that stuff's really, it's not what it was then. It's different now. Pass by. And it's hard to do.
Yeah.
I think it is. I don't think it's an easy thing to do. But you conquered your craving, sir. I think you should be knighted.
But, I was drawn in by the Heco in Mexico sign.
But to be aware of it is the answer to the game.
Yeah.
For a person to be able to face, these are the things that make me want stuff, that's it. Then you can control it. Right. It's not hard. Life is so easy to do. Don't make a big deal out of it. Ta-da! But getting to the bottom of all the lies has been a trip.
Yeah.
I got to give it that. It's kind of dehumanizing, in a way.
Absolutely.
And do you feel that you have gotten to the bottom?
No. But I'm
either.
I don't think I ever could, but it's a lot deeper. See, they play in a lot bigger blocks of time than we do. They're families. They've been at this for a couple thousand years now or so. So they've had time to work on their game. We get 80 years and you're gone.
Yeah.
So it's a rigged game from the gate, and they lie about every fucking thing. Turns out all the presidents are all related to each other. Old Obama was Bush's cousin. I mean, when I read that stuff, I kind of, well, there goes the kingdom.
Bunch of damn inbreds.
I think it's the same here in European history. Those queens and kings, they were all related to each other, and they married out to each other, you know.
Bunch of whores, right? If you ask me.
Blue bloods.
Bunch of inbred sluts. But, hey, you know, that's one man's kingdom is another man's, hey, get that off me. Never mind. In America, they prefer a president. I find that amusing. You know, when things go wrong, you can all go, Trump did it.
Right.
Now, you ain't going to even get to the shit Trump's doing until Trump's been gone 8 or 10 years. You guys are crazy. Well, not you guys, the Trump guys, those government people, the ones that...
There are some here. There are some here.
Are there? Really?
Yeah. I don't even need to point them out to you.
Are you a government person, Grim?
Am I? No, I am the opposite of whatever that is.
Oh, you have one of those anarchy minds, then, I would say.
I do indeed.
You're a dangerous fella. You know what? See, what happened is they hijacked the fucking word, made a bunch of stupid movies about anarchy being violence and chaos, so your average Joe doesn't have any idea what he's talking about when he's against it.
Well, you know, it's like the word, or the term, I guess, conspiracy theory, or conspiracy theorist, you know, that you have to theorize about conspiracies. By their very nature, they're secret. So you're not going to have the information and the facts about them. So they figure, conspiracy theory is equivalent to insane.
What's it like in your little town, Grim? Are your peers equally aware of the truth as you are?
No, they're a bunch of hicks.
But they're good people, and they would help you in the time of crisis. That kind of deal.
Yeah. They're good folk here.
Right, but dumb as a rock.
I mean, obviously you got some assholes like you do everywhere, but they're not going to bother you either. So.
Yeah, when you got small community where people go, hey, I don't want to end up in the alley with those 4 guys because I was acting up. I'll just behave myself. And it's an unwritten, everybody knows it kind of thing.
Right.
So it's never spoken of, so you don't have to flaunt anything, so it's just like, wow, peace and tranquility amongst my fellows. Who thought, you know?
Yeah.
I thought, when I was growing up, I never thought I'd see this. What I'm doing now was like what San Francisco was supposed to have been in like 1969, where people got along with each other, period. You know?
Summer of love.
Yeah, well, Nixon straightened all that out when he did Kent State, so... Yeah. It was fun while it lasted, and now here we are all these years later going, wow, what the fuck happened? They poisoned everything. Fucking hell. There is nothing left to fucking steal. These pirates have got everything. And I don't understand that. If there's 7 billion people, why do so few operate everything, supposedly? There's a scam edge to this that nobody can explain.
Because the people accept it and beg for it, really.
Oh, the addiction to authority rears its ugly head. Well, I don't know. Whatever we have, I hope it spreads a little further. You know, because being able to survive like you and Walter do in your societies, it's not a painful project. It's just something you do. You know, I don't hear any anger out of either of you guys. No. And some people you run into and you don't get along with them. So what? You know, don't strangle them to death because they're different. Big deal.
I see things from a different perspective than the average folk, but
yeah. Well, you're a patient guy, right? You?
I tend to be pretty patient, yeah.
And you're big, so people don't threaten you too much anyway.
Nah.
No?
There's enough to get mad about, but if you've decided not to let it influence you anymore, you don't get mad anymore. So.
Yeah, I didn't say it in those words, but I agree with you along with, because I'm in control of my reality. It's however I want it to be. If I want to go off the handle and start calling you guys names because you hurt my feelings 3 months ago, I can. Doesn't mean I'm right, but that's the reality that I would choose. So I'm not going to do that. And I just let things control, that are being controlled without control instead.
Yeah, I guess for you it's easier to create your own reality than for me.
Oh, well,
you see,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, sure.
Yeah, I'm still too much, let's say, attached to things that appear real, right?
Yeah, they're still pleasing you. You're going to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much human. I mean, wow, they've butchered the name human in legal terms, but in mankind, in my opinion, the way I see my peers is a lot differently than the way they see themselves.
Yeah.
And they're saying something, but my mind is reading what my mind interprets what they're saying as, and it's never going to be the same thing 100% of the time. It just doesn't work that way. Nah. But the key to the game, I think, Walter, is to not carry it into the next day. Yeah,
that's something I learned at work also. Like, don't take your work with you at home, right? You got to leave it right there, and then, next day. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when it comes down to it, what you're doing there at work, although it may be important to whomever at that exact point in time, in the big picture, it just don't matter.
Nope. Doesn't.
Right, but it matters to me. That's what I've been trying to say for however long I've been doing this Dork Table.
Thanks a lot for helping us out with the technical things here. Awesome.
Glad to.
Nice.
I tried to. I'm gonna learn how to do this crap. I'm gonna make a point of kidnapping Mary, and I'll threaten her with something. Tell her, teach me how to do this, or I'll paint your hair blue.
Too late.
Wow. Well,
and thanks a lot for the invite, Flash. It was nice.
Yeah, a couple months go by, you feel chatty again. We'll get back up here and we'll do an installment of As the World Turns. Hey, man, that's what it's all about. Is people think our lives are so different, but we're just doing different shit in different places. It's really all the same. Right. Enjoy the ride. I don't know. I make the best of it, or I try to. And when it's shitty, I blame Trump.
All right, guys. Well, don't forget, later on today on RLM Radio, RealLibertyMedia.com, we're going to have Grammy Mary at 7 p.m. Eastern with her rocket chair.
Grammy Mary!
7 p.m.? Wait, did I get that right? Yeah, that's right. At 11 p.m. Eastern will be myself and the Mighty Moose Girl with the Freakers Ball. And over the weekend we got bunch of good shows. You got you again tomorrow with Grammy Mary on this very Dork Table, followed by Rob Works and Quasimodo with the mirror. What's it called? Smoking Mirrors. Followed by Kira Young.
Kira Bridge.
Yeah, on the bridge. And then later, a couple hours after that, in the evening, you're going to have Bo Diddy spinning some tunes. I'll be on Sunday morning spinning some tunes. Blues, all blues. And then Hal Anthony on Sunday afternoon with Behind the Woodshed, and Gary L. and Gigi's Boo Sunday evening with The Road Less Traveled.
Awesome.
Yeah, lots of good shows on RLM Radio on the weekends. So, anyway, that's it. I'm done. You got anything else?
No, I just wanted to do a something with Walter and you. That was it.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. It was nice.
Yeah, thank you both.
I'll check up on you in a couple of months.
All right.
All right, be good.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See you, Walter.
Thanks, Grimner. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right.